Good morning, everybody. It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you some NBA player props to lock in for today. So recording this early Tuesday morning on December 6th, and let's get into it. Of course, using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page to lock in these NBA player props. The first one that we are going to lock in here, it's just ridiculous value, is this Anthony Davis over 2.5 assists. This play is at plus 160 on BetRivers /Barstool /Unibet /TwinSpires. And we can talk about the math behind it. Incredibly valuable play here. The no-vig odds that OddsJam calculates prices this to be at about plus 140. As you can see here, plus 140.08. So we could just go ahead and round this down to plus 140. And BetRivers is offering it 20 cents higher at plus 160. It's just insane, the difference between the no-vig odds and the BetRivers line. And in order to understand why positive EV betting is such a powerful tool, it's important to understand just where these no-vig odds come from. I like to call them the OddsJam perfect line, or I like to call them the true line of what a market should be priced at. And it's not that complicated. It just comes from the sharpest sports books in the world in terms of pricing odds, the most accurate sports books in the world at pricing odds. That's where this number comes from. So they OddsJam back-tested thousands of betting opportunities to come up with this information. So it's not as though they're just like, oh, anecdotally, we think that these are the best sports books. No, it's been tested and true over the course of time who the sharp sports books are, whatever X amount, and then OddsJam uses them to set the market, basically saying, hey, these X amount of sports books do the best job over the course of time at pricing odds. So we're just going to use them to set the market moving forward and try to find situations where we can get better odds. So OddsJam constantly scanning all of the odds from all of the sports books at all of the times, spits out opportunities where we're getting more favorable odds than the no-vig line, which is exactly what we are getting here on this Anthony Davis one. So the no-vig odds, again, plus 140, we're getting it at plus 160. It would basically be like if all the reputable stock exchanges price a stock at, like, let's say they price Apple stock at $300 a share. And on whatever exchange, you can get Apple stock at $280 a share. Well, that would be something to take advantage of. That would be a good stock to buy, right? Because the reputable sources that do the best job say it should be this way. You're getting it $20 lower. That's a good stock to buy. It's the same thing with sports betting, right? Like each individual sports book is kind of like the stock market, and that supply and demand, buying and selling, determines price. Now, of course, there are other outside factors in each, like weather, injuries, stuff like that, financials. But overall, it's just supply and demand dictates price. And each sports book, the goal is to get 50% payout on each side. So if a bunch of money is coming in one way, the sports books are going to make that way more expensive to buy. So in this case, granted, they're all for plus money, but every other sports book, like look at Pinnacle, plus 119. Look at BetOnline, plus 122. Look at DraftKings, plus 120. Look at Caesars, plus 114. PointsBet, plus 125. FanDuel is the only one that's kind of close, but it's more in the middle than closer to the BetRivers line. But every other sportsbook says this should be priced kind of in the plus 120, plus 125 range. Basically, that's how they've received the money. For whatever reason, BetRivers has received a lot more money on the under, making this a clear outlier. And over the course of time, betting on outliers is how you can be profitable in the long run, right? Like, people are going to say, why are you taking this bet? It's only got a 41% chance of hitting roughly. Well, the goal isn't to hit every bet. The goal is to be profitable. So if you're playing bets at plus 160, you don't have to hit as much in order to be profitable, right? Like if you're placing 1,000 bets at plus 160 odds, you could only hit 40% of the time, kind of like where these no-vig odds price it, and make money. So that's why I really like this one. Anthony Davis over 2.5 assists as my first play. Next one, looks like the odds changed on that one. Looks like this one is still good. The odds changed, but actually in our favor. This was the next one I was going to lock in. Russell Westbrook under 7.5 assists. He's been playing great recently. I'll give him that. But I care about the math more than anything, and we can get him at plus 106, it looks like. So the odds changed in our favor at plus 106. The Novig line prices this at about plus 101, plus 102. We can round up to plus 102. So still a gap between the OddsJam perfect line and what we are getting it at Bet Rivers at plus 106. And then look at the other 3 sports books and where they price it. Like every other sportsbook has it as basically a 50-50 outcome. PointsBet, minus 115 each way. FanDuel, minus 113 each way. BetOnline, minus 114 each way. Neither of these 3 sportsbooks are favoring a side. They basically say, hey, we think it's 50-50 that he goes over or under. We don't know. Well, Bet Rivers is giving this to us at plus money. So if it does hit 50% of the time over the course of time, we'll be making money off of that because we're getting it at plus 106. So another good example here of a good play, positive EV play that we are getting. So this is going to be my second one, this Russell Wilson one. Let me give this page a refresh, see if there are any other player props that I like to lock in. This Lonnie Walker one, I'm going to go ahead and avoid. So I'm just going to keep it with the 2, the Anthony Davis and the Russell Westbrook, and that's it. So if you guys are tailing both of these, comment and let me know, and that's all I got. So enjoy the NBA slate tonight, and have a good one.